So, hello everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you in our today's discussion, in our today's live session on our new YouTube platform that is there to cater the need of RBI Grade A, Grade B aspirants. Now, in our today's live session, we will be having a discussion on SEBI's ban that SEBI has banned the Jane Street, one of the you can say prominent proprietor trading firm of US. So we will be seeing what are the nuances, why they have banned Jane Street from that particular from the trading in India. Okay. So we will see what is the nuances. Now this topic is extremely important because it is directly related to, just wait for a minute. Okay. So this topic is extremely important because it is directly related to derivative segment. Okay. Now derivative is a extremely important part of your derivative is extremely important part of your finance syllabus for RBI Grade B or Grade A examination. Now, in finance we have derivative. So first we will discuss what is a derivative. Then we will see different kind of derivatives, and in that segments, the different segments that a derivative have. In the same segment, we have the four type of derivatives. You can say future, forward, futures, options, and swaps. So in F and O segment, that is the in F&O segment, all these you can say in the future and options segment, all these issues has taken place. Now, as I said, it is extremely important because derivative is an important part of our syllabus. There has been descriptive questions in the past years from the derivative segment. There has been multiple. Now, there is no such a doubt in case that they will be framing MCQs question from this topic. But the but the important thing is that they have framed descriptive questions as well. So it is important now. Okay. So now we will see what this issue is all about, at what time it all these scenarios started, what lead to SEBI to start the investigation, and then what SEBI has done at this point of time. Now we will also see that how the Gin Street manipulated, how they played with the market, India's F&O segment market, how they did it, uh, how they took a loophole, you can say. Okay? So we will see everything now. Just wait for a minute. Let me share my screen to you guys, and then we will go ahead. Okay, so I think the screen must be visible to you people now. Now let's begin with our discussion of the day. SEBI's ban on Jane Street F&O trading manipulations. Okay. So first of all, this thing has taken place in F&O segment, future and option segment. Okay. Now this is future and options are nothing. It's just a type of derivatives. So derivatives is a kind of financial instrument, financial agreement. We will see what it is. But first we will see that what is Jane Street is accused of. What is the accusation of SEBI on Jane Street? So what they have done, they have with a malintention, systematically they have pumped and dumped scheme. They have used this pump and dump scheme around index expiry days. Okay, what they have used, they used pump and dump scheme in the index segment. First of all, they manipulated the prices of indexes, and then they took that thing in a F&O segment, and then they from there they made a huge amount of profits. We will see what they have done, how they have done. We will see. Now they have manipulated, first of all, the market. As I said, first what they did, they manipulated the index segment. They came in the cash segment, they bought the Nifty 50 indexes, take stocks of Nifty 50 indexes in cash segment, because we know that we can buy the stocks from cash segment only. Okay. So what they did, first they manipulated, they did a large amount of buying, and then after some time, once they wanted to book their profit, they sold all of their all of their holdings. Okay. So first what they did, they manipulated the cash segment, then they took that cash segment scenario in futures and options market. Okay. Now in this whole process, they manipulated bank Nifty, that is the index of national stock exchange. pushing it up in the morning and down in the afternoon. We will see what this is, that they pushed it. Now see what I said, pump and dump. So they pumped the market in morning and then they dumped the market in afternoon. We will see what this whole scenario is. And via this strategy, they generated 36,500 crore plus profit. Now let me tell you, this is the data that SEBI is saying. Okay. Now this data can be huge as well. This amount can be on a higher side as well. But this is the data that is SEBI is saying, because they are doing it since 2021. This is not a new thing what they are doing. But they have got caught right now. So they generated around 36,500 crore plus profit over 2 years. And it flashed, it came in the eyes when they booked a profit of 735 crore in a single day. That was Jan 17, 2024. That was the time it came in the picture. Now SEBI responded by imposing a trading ban. SEBI has as we discussed in the starting of this discussion, that they have imposed a trading ban and they have freezed 4843 crores in alleged illicit gains. Now, Jane Street contests the findings, calling the trades legitimate arbitrage. It means what they have said in the interim, the decisions of SEBI, what they have said, that Jane Street has said that this was the legitimate arbitrage, what they have done. It means whatever they have done is legitimate. There is nothing wrong in that. We will see what they are saying, what is the stake of SEBI, and what is the reality. Okay? But before that, let me tell you, we need to discuss what is derivative segment, first of all. Okay? And then what is F&O segment. And then we can go ahead with our discussion. Okay? Now see. First of all, we will see what is derivatives. So from the name itself, you can have an idea. Derivatives are the financial agreement, financial instruments that derive their value from the underlying asset. Okay? Derivatives. So derivatives means they derive value from underlying asset. Underlying asset. Now this underlying asset can be a stock, can be a share, can be a commodity, can be any precious metal, anything. Okay? So this is what derivatives means. Now there are four multiple kind of derivatives that are there in the market. We have futures, then we have forwards, just wait. We have forwards, then we have options, and then we have swaps. So these are the basic. If someone asks what are some basic basic derivatives instrument, then these are the one. Okay? Now see. So, and what this whole scam is happened, whatever the Jane Street has done, what they are seeing a legitimate arbitrage, they have done it in future and option segment. Why so? Because these two derivatives are the only derivatives that can be traded on a stock exchange. Okay, only these. Now forwards and swaps are not stock exchange traded derivatives. They are more of a kind private or a personalized form of derivatives. They cannot be traded on the stock exchange. They are the over the counter. Over the counter means on a more personalized manner. Over the counter. Okay, over the counter means they are more personalized in nature. These forwards and swaps cannot be traded on stock exchanges, first of all. So future and options, we call it future and options segment. It is one of these segments in the stock exchanges that we have cash segment as well. Cash segment, from where we can buy and sell the shares. है ना? This is what cash segment is, and this is what F&O segment is. So Jade Street has manipulated both the markets. ठीक है? They manipulated the cash segment, and then they brought this effect of manipulation of cash segment in a F&O segment. But before that, let me tell you here the options. Okay? Now you must have heard about recent SEBI reports in which SEBI said that 90% of the options traders are not making profit. It means they are on loss. It means 9 out of 10 options traders are making losses in options trading. Nowadays, if you see on YouTube, multiple strategy discussions you will be seeing that how you can make in profits in options and all these kind of strategies you be seeing lot of videos on YouTube. Okay, everyone is telling you some kind of strategy to make profits in options and futures trading, but the reality is SEBI is a regulator and no one knows the reality better than SEBI. What SEBI has said, almost 90% of traders out of 10, 9 traders in option segments are in a loss. They are not making profit. So first of all, future and options trading are extremely risky. This thing you have to keep in your head. Then now let's move ahead. Now first let me explain you the fundamental behind the options derivatives. We just saw that is this is also a kind of derivative instrument. Okay, what is the option derivative? So option derivatives a right gives you a right to buy or sell the underlying asset. Okay, now see this particular derivative come with a two kind of options. First is the put option, then we have the call option. Okay, now we will see why we are discussing all this thing, because these things are extremely important if we want to know that how they have booked a profit, how they have made a profit. So if you want to see everything now, if you want to get to know the real scenario, what has happened, so we should be having a clear cut idea of these fundamental concepts. Okay, that's why we are having a discussion. Now under the put options, there will be, now this is an option. First of all, it is a instrument. Now this put option is a financial instrument or a financial agreement. Okay, you can consider it as a agreement paper. Now a person who is going to be there who will be selling this option, a person is going to be there who is going to buy the option. It means there is going to be a seller, then there is going to be a buyer, and then seller will sell the option derivative. Okay, now seller will sell the option derivative and buyer will buy it. Okay, now this option derivative can be a put option, can be a call option. Okay, now over here the thing is that is bit intricate to understand, that buyer gets the right, seller has an obligation. First of all, in futures, in forwards, if you see, both the parties have a obligation. Okay, that they need to honor their agreement. In futures, if you see, the both the parties, the seller and buyers of that future derivative, are obliged. They have a mandate to fulfill the they have a mandate to fulfill the nuances of that agreement. They should be honoring the agreement. Over here, the seller has an obligation. Okay, the seller has an obligation and buyer has a right. Now what this thing is all about, we will see in detail. Okay, it will hardly take few minutes. Now see, seller has an obligation and buyer has a right. Okay, this is what it means. Now what does it mean? It means, if, now see, let let understand it while taking a personal example. I am a seller of option trader, option derivative. I am selling a put option. Put means, what does it put means? It means, put means sell. If as a buyer I am purchasing a put option from a market, Please listen me carefully. Okay, please listen me carefully. If as a buyer I am buying a put option, it means I am buying a right to sell a specific commodity in a specific price. Okay. If as a buyer I am buying a call option, it means I am purchasing a right to buy a specific commodity on a particular day or time. This is what put and call options means. Sorry. Put means selling, call means buying. These two terminology you need to understand. Okay? If I am selling a put option, if I am selling a put option, it means the buyer has a right. If I am selling a put option, so whosoever I have sold that particular option, that buyer has a right. That buyer has a right to sell that product to me, the underlying commodity to me at whatever agreed price. And as a seller, as I have sold that particular option to the buyer, I have to buy it. ठीक है? It means I have sold a put option. I have sold a put option. It means whosoever will be buying that put option is going to have a right to sell a particular underlying commodity at a set price or at a predetermined price. And as a seller, I have to buy it from the buyer. ठीक है? It means the put option, that is the selling, the right of selling, or the call option, that is the right of buying, is associated with the buyer. Buyer has a right to sell, buyer has a right of buy. But for seller, it is quite opposite. It means if buyer has bought the put option, it means buyer has a right to sell. Buyer has a right to sell and seller has to buy. And if buyer has bought the call option, it means buyer has a right to buy and seller has to sell. Now see what is happening. So if I'm saying the put option or call option, then you have to identify the obligation from the side of buyer. First of all, I have bought a put option, it means I can sell. I have bought a call option, it means I can buy. Whosoever has sold that options to me has the obligation. If he has sold the put option, then he has to buy. If he sorry, if he has sold a call option, that it has to sell. ठीक है? This is the whole scenario is. Now see what happens in this particular scenario. As I said, there is a seller, then there is a buyer. Now there is a share. ठीक है? There is a share. That share is trading at 100 rupees. Now any derivative agreement came in picture when there is a when there is a different when there is a difference in risk perception of two individual. One person will think, okay, that the share of this price will go up. One person will think that the share of this price will go down. Now there is a difference in risk perception, and when there's a difference in risk perception happens, a derivative agreement comes in existence. How it comes? Now see, sellers thought that this price will go down. Seller thought price will go down. ठीक है? Seller thought that the price will go down. So what seller will do? Seller will sell. Acha. So the price will go down. Let me do one thing. Let me sell a put option. ठीक है? Sorry. So seller will say, okay, if price will go down, and he is thinking that price will not go up. He is thinking price नीचे जाएगा and price will not go up. So what he will say, okay, let's do one thing. That let me sell the call option. ठीक है? Let me sell the. Just wait. Just wait for a minute. Just wait. Just wait. हाँ ठीक है. Now coming back to our topic. ठीक है. Now what he is saying that if price will go up, he will sell the call option. ठीक है. कॉल ऑप्शन, इसने कॉल ऑप्शन सेल कर दिया मार्केट में. नाउ ही इज सेलिंग द कॉल ऑप्शन. व्हाट डज दैट मीन? नाउ बायर विल बाय इट. बायर विल बायर इज थिंकिंग दैट द प्राइस विल गो अप. प्राइस विल गो अप. ठीक है. दिस इज व्हाट बायर इज थिंकिंग एंड दिस इज व्हाट सेलर इज थिंकिंग. Now seller is thinking that the price will go down. Possibilities are that this share will go at 90. This is what seller is thinking who has sold the call option. ठीक है. Buyer is thinking that the price will go up. ठीक है. He is thinking ठीक है 110 जाएगा मार्केट में. So buyer is thinking that if the price will go up in future, now buyer wants to buy this particular share in future. So buyer is thinking that in future this share will go to 110. At this point of time it is 100 only. It means in future it is going to be expensive for me if I want to buy this share. Because of any reason, you can say this buyer is not having a sufficient amount at this point of time. In future he will be having 100 rupees. That time he can buy the share at 100, but buyer has an apprehension that this share will go to 110. Now buyer will think, let's do one thing. Let me buy a call option. ठीक है. It at rupees 100. ठीक है. What is he is thinking कि let me buy a call option. So that call option will give right. ठीक है. Now this call option will give right. What right he will get? He will get right to buy. He will get right to buy. ठीक है. Now call option is at rupees 100. ठीक है. Now this buyer has bought the right कि भैया in future if the price will go up, I will buy. Now this buyer has a right to buy and this seller has an obligation to sell. ठीक है. Now this is a obligation. He is obliged. Just wait. He has an obligation. But now no one has told seller to have this obligation. He is having this obligation because he wanted to sell this call option. ठीक है. Because he had an apprehension that in future the price will go up. ठीक है. Now think. Now see. He will be obligated to sell. At what price he is obligated to sell? At rupees 100 as per the agreement in the call option. ठीक है. So buyer ने क्या किया ना? What he is trying to do? He is just trying to save himself. He thought at this point of time it is 100. In future it will go to 110. Let me do one thing. I will buy a right to buy option. That is a call option I will buy. It means I will get a right to buy in future at rupees 100 only. Because buyer has an apprehension that in future price will go up. Now seller is thinking price will go down. Let me do one thing. Let me sell a call option. ठीक है. So if the price goes to 90, then I will be having an obligation only to sell it at rupees 100 only. ठीक है. At market, if there is 90, a person can buy it in 90 rupees. But because he has sold the call option, he is going to have an obligation to sell it as 100. So he will be in a profit. But obviously he has an obligation to fulfill. He don't have the right. The right is there with the option buyer. The buyer has a right. Seller has an obligation. Seller cannot force the buyer to fulfill the agreement. Okay. But so how the seller will get the profit? Call option premium. Now the major thing comes in picture. Premium. To buy this option, buyer will give some premium to seller. ठीक है. For example, premium is rupees 10. Now just take an example. Now in future what happens? Buyer bought the call option. The price went to 150. Now buyer has a right because he has purchased the call option. He has a right to buy. ठीक है. So buyer will say to seller, I want to exercise my right of call. I will buy this share at rupees 100 at the agreed terms. In the market, it is getting sold on rupees 50, it is selling on 50, 150, but he is getting in rupees 100 only because in past he has bought a call option. Then seller is obliged to fulfill the agreement. He will be selling that particular thing in rupees 100 only, that share. Okay. Now the seller have got rupees 10 as a premium earlier. Now the difference is of rupees 50. ठीक है. So seller को 50 रुपए का घाटा हो रहा है यहाँ पे, but he has already got rupees 10 as a premium. So the overall loss is going to be 50 minus 10. The loss of seller. ठीक है. Just wait. Just wait for a minute. This is what is going to be the loss of seller. Rupees 40. Now there is another case. Now the price went down. Now the seller, the apprehension of seller went right. The price went down to 90. Okay. Now buyer will think, yeah, what should I do now? Okay. If I exercise my, now the option seller, buyer will think, if I exercise my right, then I have to buy it at rupees 100. In market, I can buy it in rupees 90 only. So let's do one thing. Let's not exercise my right. Let me buy this share from market only. Now seller is in profit. How? The premium, the option premium, the premium that seller has got when he was selling the option agreement, that time he's got a premium rupees 10. So that rupees 10 is going to be his profit, and buyer has a loss of rupees 10. This is how the whole options trading works. Okay? And this is the same thing what they have leveraged. What they did, what Jane Street did, for example. Now in the National Stock Exchange, there is a Nifty 50. If you know, the Nifty 50 is a benchmark index of National Stock Exchange. Okay? So what they did, first of all, they bought the share of Nifty 50. Okay? For example, Nifty 50 is trading at around 50,000. Let's think 50,000. The Nifty 50 index is at 50,000. What they did, they started buying the stocks of Nifty 50, and obviously the Jane Street is a proprietary firm. A proprietary firm is not a retail. First of all, it is not a retail trader. A proprietary firm uses its own net worth to do trading, and let me tell you, their net worths are around hundreds of CRs. Okay? 150 CR, 200 CR is going to be their total net worth, and they will be utilizing that funds to do trading. It's not like us. On an individual level, what we do trades, but what the maximum amount we can do? 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 10 lakhs, and thousands. Extremely, if you took extreme risk, then 1 CR, not more than that. This is the capacity of a retail trader, but the proprietor trader trades in hundreds of crores, thousands of crores. That is a proprietary firm. Okay? Jane Street is a proprietary firm trader. They trade via utilizing their high net worth, and that's why they trades in hundred and thousand of crores. So what they did, they start buying the Nifty 50 index. What they did, first started buying stocks of Nifty 50 index. Okay? In the stock exchange, National Stock Exchange. Now, because of their buying, obviously they pumped thousands of crore, hundreds of crore. It went to, for an example, 55,000. I'm just giving you an example. Okay? It went to 55,000 just because they bought the stocks. Okay? Because in markets, it always a snowball effect. Okay? If people sees, okay, that this stock is going up, everyone will start buying it. Okay? So this is a snowball effect. What they did, they pumped a huge amount of money in the stocks of Nifty 50 index, and they raised the stock prices of Nifty 50 artificially. Now this is something they did in cash segment. Now they brought this manipulation in F&O segment, that is future and options segment. What they did, now in retail, if you see the retail traders, what they do, they sell and buy put options, call options. Okay? So what they did, Jane Street, they did Jane Street. What they did, they bought put options. They bought put options, that too on a lower price. It means they bought put option, they will be exercising. Obviously, they are buying the options. It means they will be having the right. They said we will bought, we will put. It means we will sell if the prices go down. Okay, and then they sold the call option. Call option means if they are selling call option, it means the buyer of call option is going to have a right to buy. Okay, it means now what they did, they sold the call option for higher prices. It means if the price will go 56,000, okay, then so they kept the strike price at call option 56,000. It means what they said that if prices goes up to 55,000 to 56,000, then we will, here we will be, the buyer can exercise. Okay, the buyer of this call options will exercise on, and they bought the put option. It means if the price goes down, okay, if the price goes down below 50,000, okay, they will be selling it. It means put option. If they have sold put option, okay, they have, sorry, they have bought put option. It means they have a right. They have a right of what? They have a right to buy. They have a right to buy. It means if, sorry, they have a right, yes, they have a right to buy. Sorry, they have a right to sell. Okay, they have a right to sell. It means what they are saying, that for an example, they pumped a huge amount of money, they raised the stock. Now they are having a huge amount of stocks of Nifty 50 with them. Now what they did, they had a different kind of stances in F&O segment. They manipulated the price in cash segment via this pumped money buying. And now what they did, they bought the put option in the F&O segment, and they sold the call option in the option segment. Okay, in the bought, when they bought it, they got the right to sell. Okay, when they bought it, the put option, they got the right to sell. They said if the prices will go down to 50,000, we will be selling. Okay, okay, now they are safe. If the price goes down to 50,000, they can sell the thing at the pre-decided prices. And they sold the call option. What does that mean? They sold the right. They sold the right. So whosoever has bought the call option, okay, that person is going to have a right to buy, and they have to sell. Then they said that we will be selling. We will having this obligation that we will sell if the prices will go up to 55,000 to 56,000. Now they are having the huge amount of stocks. They know this thing, that they can manipulate the prices of these stocks now, because they are having at a larger quantity. They knew that the prices will not go up to 55,000 to 56,000, because what they have decided that they will be selling it in future. ठीक है, so उनको ये तो पता था that they have raised the prices to 50,000 to 55,000, but it will not go up to 56,000, because the majority of the stocks are there with them, and they are having that kind of benefit with them, so that they can decide where the price will go up or down. So they were knowing that prices will not go up, because they are having a huge amount of stocks of Nifty 50 with them. Okay, they can manipulate it. But they knew one thing, that this price will go down below 50,000. It can go. Now see, the difference of 5,000 is huge in a stock exchange, in an index. It only happens when when unprecedented events happen, then only in a single day this much amount of fall can happen. Someone throws a nuclear bomb, someone, RBI governor came and gave a speech, some kind of ban or war started. In these kind of unprecedented events, only the indexes go 5,000, 6,000 index values down in a single day. It is a very rare scenario. Okay? But they knew that this can happen. Why so? Because they have a huge amount of stocks of Nifty 50 with them. They knew that once the market will be at a closing time, they will start selling it. And because of their selling, the prices will go down. ठीक है, and it will go up to 49,000. They knew it. Why they knew it? Because they were the only one who have inflated the price of the stock from 50 to 55. And they also knew that once they will start selling now, it will again go it will again comes down to 49,000. They were knowing this thing because they were doing it intentionally. And this is how they played. What they did, so what they got the benefit of intraday trading. First of all, intraday trading is a buying and selling of stock in a single day. Now, what they did when the market started at 9:30 or 9:45, whatever the timing is, they bought the shares, they inflated the prices. Okay? They just to understand the scenario, 50,000 was the index value. They bought the shares of Nifty 50, they packed that value to 55,000. Now, once the market is at a closing end, okay, once the market is at the closing end around 4:30 or 5:30, you can say, whatever the closing timings are, they started selling it. They started selling it. So they knew they targeted the retail investors, the retail, the people who are having a call option and pull option stands in a F&O segment. They took the benefit. How they did? They knew that it will go down. Okay? Now they had two rights to fulfill. First of all, they have bought a call option. It means to they have a right to buy. Okay? They have a right to, just wait. Yes, call option. It means they have a right to buy. So what they did, first of all, the price went. Now they started selling. Prices they brought it down from 50,000 to 49,000. No one was expecting that this kind of manipulation, this kind of fall is possible without any unprecedented event. But they did it because they started selling it. Their stocks, whatever they have bought, they started selling it, and then they did this. Okay? Now they had a different positions in a different option segment. Okay? They have bought the put option. It means they have a right to sell. Now they purposely brought down the value from 50,000 to 59,000. Now they can exercise their right. Now they said, okay, we have bought this option, okay, in a condition that if values goes down to 50,000, whatever the 49, 48, 47, whatever the value will go down, we will be having a right to buy. Okay? And the option seller has the obligation to sell. They make benefit from there. Another benefit they did, they have sold the call option. It means they have a obligation. They have a obligation. Okay? The call option buyer has a right to buy. Okay? Now, obviously, the call option buyer will not exercise its rights because in the market, it is getting traded at 49,000. Okay? And if they exercise, then they will have to buy it around 56,000. Why they will buy it from the Jane Street? Because Jane Street has an obligation because they have sold the call option. So the whatever the premium they got, whatever the premium. So in the first scenario, in by selling the call option, by selling the call option, okay, they got the benefit of premium, and by buying the put option, they got the benefit of price difference. Okay. This is how they made a huge profit. This is how they made a huge profit. Now the thing came, there are the foreign portfolio investors. First of all, Jane Street is a proprietary firm established. They have their headquarters in New York. So then how they can manipulate? Because as per the SEBI regulations that SEBI released in the year 2019, a foreign portfolio investors cannot do the intraday trading. The only thing they can do in India's security market is fulfilling their obligations of buying and selling the securities. This is the only thing they can do. They can deliver their sold securities, and they can get the delivery of their bought securities. This is the only thing a foreign portfolio investors can do in India's security market as per the SEBI regulation of 2019. That and they are not, and that's why SEBI has closed their way to the intraday trading of India's stock market, but they reached India's trading intraday trading. How they reached? So what they did, they started opening. Just wait. What they did, they created Indian subsidiaries. Obviously, if you want to participate in intraday trading segment of India's security market, you must be having an Indian subsidiary or a firm who is from India. So what they did, they opened they opened one of the subsidiaries in India. They get it registered in India only. So that subsidiaries got the approval from SEBI to participate in the intraday trading. And this is how they used multiple subsidiaries to bypass the foreign portfolio restriction, investors restriction, the restrictions that SEBI has kept, that the FPI cannot participate in intraday trading. So they bypassed it. What they did, they opened the Indian subsidiaries, and via those subsidiaries, they started participating in intraday trading. ठीक है? And this subsidiaries allowed them to carry out intraday stock trading and pump and dump tactics. ठीक है? And this is how they rapidly bought the Nifty bank Nifty component stocks to push the index upward artificially. Then retail investors followed the rise. As I said, it is a snowball effect. If the retail investors will see that prices are going up, they will buy it. ठीक है? So retail investors also followed. They also started buying the Nifty 50 stocks, and then they also helped in inflating the prices. While Jane Street took opposite derivative positions. As I said, they bought the put option and then they sold the call option. And first they manipulated the cash segment via intraday trading, and then they went to the F&O segment. Over there, they took opposite derivatives positions. They bought the put options, they sold the call option, and from there they made huge profits. Once on contract expiring days, they dumped index futures and holdings. They dumped means they start selling whatever they have bought, the stocks of Nifty and 50, they start selling it. They brought the value, the price they have inflated. They brought down the value of Nifty 50, and then they dumped. They dumped the put options, whatever the put option sellers, and they dumped the call options buyers. Those were the retail investors. ठीक है, first of all. So घाटा किसका हुआ है यहाँ पे? सिर्फ और सिर्फ रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स का घाटा हुआ है. They have made huge profits. So on a contract price expiry dates, what they did, so obviously the options agreement, what they bought and what they sold, have expiry date. So just the day those options in which they have taken the positions was about to expire, they did this manipulation. They pumped money and then they dumped the retail investors who have sold the put options to them or who have bought the call option from them. ठीक है? Now this caused a sudden fall in index prices, profiting from positions. Whatever positions they have taken, they made the profit. ठीक है? Now they used advanced trading algorithms capable of executing traded derivatives trade with milliseconds. So obviously they used the algorithm. ठीक है? They used the multiple ways, advanced trading algorithm they used, and then they did all these stuffs in a milliseconds. They didn't even give a single microsecond, ठीक है, to the retail investors to adjust their positions. ठीक है? They did it in a milliseconds and they made a huge profit. How much profit? In a single day, they made 735 crores. This is not a this might be a net worth of multiple people's what they have earned in their entire lifetime. They made this much amount of profit in a single day. ठीक है? And they did it from the year 2021 till the year 2024. They did it multiple times. ठीक है? And overall they generated 36,500 plus crore profits. But it came in the picture, they came in the eyes of SEBI in the year 2024. Before that, they have made a lot of profit. Okay. Now see what SEBI did. SEBI started actions. Okay. SEBI started their probing, and then their alleged manipulation caused massive losses for retail investors. Jane Street made huge profit during the same period. SEBI took actions. They banned Jane Street from trading in Indian markets. They ordered bank to freeze 48,000 crore worth of rupees lying in the Jane Street accounts in India. Then they directed transfer of funds into an escrow account as per the interim order. Jane Street denied allegations. They have denied the allegations. They have said that they have followed the SEBI's directives, but in reality they have bypassed. They have utilized the loopholes that was there in SEBI's derivatives, SEBI directives, SEBI's regulations. They used that loophole, and as they were a proprietary firm, they were having huge amount of money to exploit this loophole, and this is how they exploited the loophole, and then they made huge profits. They dumped the retail investors of our country, the retail F&O segment traders of our country. They dumped them, and they made huge profits. Okay? Now, what is the way forward? We need to have a stronger surveillance, and we need to have a unified financial regulator. It means in USA they were having this idea that Jane Street is doing this thing. Okay, how they were having this idea? Because some employees of the Jane Streets who were working in Jane Street and who were knowing this ideology of Jane Street or the strategy of Jane Street, they joined some another firm. Okay, and over there they disclosed this strategy or this malpractice of Jane Street. So in US they were having the apprehension that this is what Jane Street is trying to do, and is getting successful as well. So if the regulators of US markets could have informed SEBI way before 2024, this could have been stopped. So that's why we need unified financial regulator, and we need stronger surveillance to throttle these kind of malpractices of the proprietary firm or any foreign portfolio investors. Okay? So this was it for today's discussion, and I hope that you must have got the complete scenario, the complete idea behind the Jane Street fraud and all this ban of SEBI, that SEBI has why SEBI has banned the Jane Street from the India security market. I hope that you must have got all the content, all the entire scenario. You must have comprehended it well. And if you want to download this data for free of cost, you can download our Ecoholics app from Google Play Store, and you can download all this data for free of cost from there, from our app that is available on Google Play Store. And if you want to have if you having any kind of queries in regards to these data, and if you have any kind of queries in regard to the paid data that we provide, you can reach out at this number. Our academic counselor will cater each and every query of yours, and it will be answered appropriately. So thank you so much for joining today's live session, and I hope that you guys must have got extremely valuable insight from these live sessions. Now tomorrow we will be coming up with a more interesting live session, so be there. Do subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, so whenever we go live with these kind of interesting topics, you will get the notification. Okay, chalo, till then, have a great day ahead. Bye.